Sailors and pirates and scalawags we, in the dark Caribbean, on a roiling sea. Our health is low and the danger's high. There's so many ways to die. There's 5 in the crew, what are we to do? We've been blinded by a bilge rat, crunched by a croc, drowned in the droppings of a seagull flock, stung by the jellyfish hung from a rail, battered by a barnacled humpback whale, stabbed in the groin with a rusty pitchfork, keel-hauled under a Spanish man-o'-war. Our health is low and the danger's high. There's so many ways to die. There's only 4 left on this bloody poop deck. We've been obliterated by an obscure oyster cult, mashed by a marrow mortal, quite an insult, electrocuted by an eldritch eel, an ancient elder our souls did steal, livers all black from years of rum. I just found out where scurvy comes from. Our health is low and the danger's high. There's so many ways to die. We're down to 3 on this forsaken sea. We've been bitten on the back by a banded sea crate, drawn and quartered by an angry sea wraith, shot in the gut with a cannonball, carried off whole by a carrion crow. Our lungs all filled with wet consumption, shocked by a shoggoth. Now isn't that something? Our health is low and the danger's high. There's so many ways to die. It's just us 2, we are so doomed. We've been gnawed on by a necro swine, pickled in a barrel of bile and brine, garroted by a gorilla crab, smashed so flat by a coral slab, burning under the sun in a gibbet cage, feeling the wrath of a mermaid's rage. Our health is low and the danger's high. There's so many ways to die. Now it's just me, it's time to flee. But I've been chomped in half by a fossil shark, chained in the well of eternal dark, stoned to death by a mad Jamaican, got heart disease from too much bacon, swung from a noose which did not slacken, gored by the beak of a love-crazed kraken. My health is low and the danger's high. There's so many ways to die. Well, you could complain that life's not fair, but the angry sea, it just don't care. My health is gone and the end is nigh. In the dark Caribbean, so many ways to die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I was but a wee boy, my father said to me, "Son, for generations we've sailed upon the sea, but danger's out there lurking to send you to the grave. So learn your ABCs, lad, perhaps your life you'll save. Now sea monsters they come in many shapes and sizes. Let's review them all now so there be no surprises. A is for albatross, hung around your neck. B is for bilge rat on a briny shipwreck. C is for Charybdis hiding under a rock. D is for deep ones in the great abyss they stalk. E's for ancient elder who try to steal your soul. F is for fossil shark who try to eat you whole. G is for giant squid with tentacles of steel. H is for hydra with many heads that kill. Some monsters be above ya, some monsters be below, but the monsters that'll get ya are the monsters you should know. I is for infernal pelican who's got a massive beak. J is for jellyfish whose sting will make you weak. K
Dinosaurus.
Oh, Rick!
Arr.
Good evening. This is Matthew Rose, and tonight we are going to be working on some storyboards for episode 8 of Escape from Crab Island. This is a series of shorts, and we're working on animatics. And the last couple of evenings, we've worked through episodes 1 to 7. And basically, I take the drawings and I put them in DaVinci nonlinear editor, and I recite some of the dialogue and basically create a short, put it on a playlist, and just been showing it to friends to kind of get their feedback in terms of kind of the structure of the choose your own path or choose your own adventure type of experience. So tonight we are on episode 8, and if we get through that, we'll work on episode 9. And I was so excited because today at the grocery store I bought more colored pencils. So now we have like gray and gold, so that's kind of cool. So when we make gold coins, we can actually have gold. All right, so what are we starting with tonight? So tonight we are starting with the alcove, and McQueen stands in front of a rotting corpse. Okay, so this is the episode in which he basically doesn't have enough rungs on the ladder, and he falls and he dies. Because if you don't have the proper amount of rungs on your ladder, you're going to die. Now, in the other timeline, let me grab that. Hold on. I'm ill prepared. So, okay, so this is what we have here. Oops, I need to put this on. There we go. Okay. All right, so this is kind of the flow chart. Let me get it situated correctly here. There we go. So that's what we got so far. So episode 1, he is on the island. And then episode 2, he's down in a well. And then he's got a couple options down there. He can either climb the rope, inspect the wall of the well, or he sees a gem and he can pick it up. Now, if he takes the path of picking up the gem, it's actually a scorpion. He gets stung, he dies. If he tries to climb the rope, he gets up a certain point, and then he falls down and he dies. A crab does a little victory dance on him. But if he inspects the block, then he goes through, he finds a little opening, and he goes through an alcove, goes through a corridor, and gets to an alcove. So in the episode 6 alcove, which we did the other night, he has 2 options. He can either climb the ladder, or he can take the key. Now, if he takes the key, that's the one that we worked on the other night, and then there's 2 options there. So he has an option to, let's see if you guys can see this here. Maybe the keyboard a little bit. Okay. All right, so there you go. So now in this timeline, he either has the option, so when he takes a key, then he's going to fight the necro swine. And if he rolls a 1 to 3, he loses and gets killed by the necro swine. And if he rolls a 4 to 6, or the player or the viewer, the experiencer of the choose your own path, if he is successful, then his timeline will continue. And that's episode 10. All right, so episode 1 to 3. he's going to die. We'll make a little skull here because he gets poked by the pig, the necro swine. Then he'll go back to episode 7. So this is killed by the necro swine. We'll just say killed by pig. And here is Mr. Pig, if you didn't see him right there. There is Mr. Pig. Oh, I need to put the PIP on. There we go. Okay. So there's the pig. He's just a pig. He's an undead pig. Now the one in the story's got some tusks, but this is the guy from So Many Ways to Die. Pirate music video. The necro swine. All he really wanted to do was just be a pig, but he became a zombie. All right, and so in episode 10, so he dies in episode 9. We'll work on that one if we get some time. And then in episode 10, he defeats the pig. Okay, and then the timeline will continue after that to episode 11, which is he will climb the ladder using the bones of the skeleton as rungs in the ladder. So episode 11, he'll be top of the well. And that gets him back into the jungle. All right, so that's the flow chart there of the Choose Your Own Adventure. Find my camera here. This is all very backwards. All right. There we go. There's the Crab Island flowchart so far. And for the first go round, we've got 18 episodes. So we're going to have 7 more after that. All right. Now, put that stuff to the side. Take a drink of water. So we'll start on episode 8 storyboards then. Okay, so this is there. Sharpen the pencil. Shavings going in there. All right, here we go. So, move this back a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on. There we go. All right, where does this part fall in the process of creating a video? All right, thank you, Miss Lady of Cats, aka Technical Director Jenny. So the idea here is that there are times when I don't do storyboards. So like for my pirate videos, the So Many Ways to Laugh, the funny dad jokes, basically for the shorts, I just kind of get up an idea and put it together. And I don't necessarily need to present the idea to somebody. So, and it's, it's a short. So it's going to stream on, as a YouTube short. So the pirate jokes, the knight jokes, the Queen Vicky jokes, etc., all the ones don't necessarily need storyboards. I did do some rudimentary storyboards for the So Many Ways to Die music video, just to kind of get an idea of like what the scope of work was going to be. I have another music video that I'm working slowly on, which is called The ABCs of Sea Monsters. I did some rudimentary storyboards for that as well. So the idea for the storyboards here is really just to kind of try out the idea of using YouTube Shorts as either as a serial way of telling a story, like back in the 30s when you'd go to a movie and you'd see a serial, kind of what inspired George Lucas to do Indiana Jones and some of his stuff. I grew up in the 1980s with these Choose Your Own Adventure books. And so the idea is to use the shorts as, kind of each step in a Choose Your Own Adventure. So that's what I'm working on. So right now, the idea is to kind of prove the concept of what the experience is going to be like. Will people enjoy, going and, watching a short, and then really sometimes the short will lead you to the next step, which is intuitive and easy, but sometimes you'll have to hit the back button and go back to the playlist to choose the right short. So the idea is like, okay, and it's also similar to the Dragon's Lair video game, Laserdisc-based video game from the 80s, where it was basically a choose-your-own-adventure video game. But there, is you're doing a joystick and choosing when to skip over to the other tracks. So, we'll see if there's some interest, and as I get the 17 or 18 different episodes done, and there's a tree, the flowchart put together, then people can say, oh yeah, okay, I can see, that this will be interesting, this will be fun, and it might catch on. Stop motion is labor intensive, so I want to make sure that if I'm going to go through the efforts of putting this together, that it's going to catch on and it'll get some views and get some likes and people will enjoy it. The other thing about putting together the experience using animatics is I can work on timing. I can improve the story, improve the end product while I'm working on it, but also show it to other people, potential voice actors. So, we'll see if it looks like it's worth, something worth putting investment of time and energy into. Maybe I'll front some money and hire a nice voice actor. Or we could just get the regular guys. Love the regular guys as well. So we'll see. Okay, and that was the long-winded answer to where does this part fall in the process of creating video. Okay, now, so we're going to go over here. We're going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it on the screen. Also, Hannah said the other day I need to turn the light up. Okay, so you guys can see the paper a little bit better. Let me turn this light up a little bit as well. Okay. This one is controlled by Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, so I can scroll over here and turn that's pretty high. There you go, I'll turn up just a little bit more. I need to close the app or I'll start blinking. All right, now, see what we got going here, sorry. Getting an update from my stone. All right, there we go. Okay, so the first bit we've got is McQueen stands in front of a rotting corpse. Okay, so he's, oh, we need to do, what is this, episode 8? Yep, okay, so this is the one where he decides not to take the key, but he's going to climb the ladder. Okay, so, I'm going to turn this down. Okay. Tails. That was something else. All right, escape. From Crab Island. Okay. One of the first things I had to do is Google escape from Crab Island to make sure it wasn't a trademarked thing. So apparently there's a Crab Island that's down in Florida where people eat and drink and have a good time. So apparently it's Escape to Crab Island. Okay, so this is episode 8. And welcome viewers who just tuned in. This is in essence a choose your own adventure, which is copyright by Bantam, or used to be Bantam, now it's Choose Co. So we'll just call it Choose Your Own Path Adventure. Using YouTube Shorts and stop motion. So we're storyboarding this out to kind of see how that experience is going to work out before I put in the effort of creating sets in stop motion. All right, so McQueen stands in front of a rotting corpse. Okay, so let's pull him up. All right, so that's what he looks like there. That's Mr. McQueen, drawn by Justin Davis, a very talented artist who I met on Fiverr. Okay. So he's going to be standing and I am not the best artist, but for this budget, you get what you pay for. So it's just proof of concept, so it doesn't need to have great art. but we've got coloring pencils, so coloring pencils are fun. So what have I been doing today? So today we have been remodeling our rental house to get ready for some new movers. So I was thinking about how was McQueen going to get killed by a undead pig? That is what was on my mind today. All right, he's got his little pants here. He's got his little socks. And his shoes. Okay, now there's this cave behind him. Okay, now he's standing in front of the corpse. So that's a medium shot. There's also a little chest over here. Okay. All right, so that's the establishing shot. Now, he says, will he die at the end of this episode? Unfortunately, yes. He's going to die at the end of this one. He falls off the ladder. And this is inspired by Pirate Borg, which I got the book around here somewhere. And Pirate Borg was put together by Luke Stratton, along with his brother Tyler and some other folks. There it is right there. So this was also the inspiration for the So Many Ways to Die video. Music video that you'll find on the YouTube channel. Okay, so he's standing in front of there. Now, there we go, kind of like right there. Now, he says, no time to waste. I should vacate this alcove. So we'll do that as a close-up shot. Okay, so he'll say, and none of this is written in stone, but this just kind of gives a general idea of kind of really the scope of the project as a whole. I mean, if I end up doing 18 episodes, it's going to take a couple months to produce. I mean, really depends on how many sets I have to build. So there'll be a set of, there's really probably 2 sets. There's a well set, but this portrait mode, so the sets don't have to be as wide. So there'll be an establishing jungle set, which will take a little time. I bought a little cricket to make some paper palm branches. And, oops, I dropped my, party foul. I dropped my sharpener. Okay. And that's going to bug me unless I find it. Oh, there it is all the way over there. Okay. Why is it that when stuff falls, it falls like the farthest away in the most awkward place? Okay, there we go. Ain't too old for this. So, where were we? No time to waste. Okay, so he's going to do, this will be a close-up. And there's his hat. And he's got his curly hair. And his nose. And his pupils. Okay. Every time I draw him, he looks a little bit different. Anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about rental houses. Talking about sets. So yeah, there's really the jungle set, the wall set, the alcove set. So 3 sets isn't bad for portrait mode, because they don't have to be very wide. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to make. Like the well set won't take very much time to make. The alcove, I mean, it's basically like lava walls, so that won't take much time. The jungle, I've been wanting to make a jungle for a while, so that'll be fun. Okay, no time to waste. I should vacate the alcove. Okay, so coming back over here. There we go. Now, he says, he turns towards the ladder created from hemp rope and tree branches. A few rungs are missing, especially the bottom ones. Okay. So, so I probably want to do that as a medium shot. Yeah, so I'll just have him be kind of here. The ladder will be here. I've drawn this ladder a couple of times already. Basically, there's like a couple of rungs missing, but he's like ever the optimist. There's this little recess that the necropig hides in. It's got to go out of frame because it's going to go up to the top of the alcove. Maybe there'll be another one here. They're tied on with little strings. There's supposed to be like little branches that might be broken there. This one might be kind of around here. Okay, and then we'll put him. He'll pivot into screen and kind of lead us over to the he's got a funny chin. Okay. All right. It's like a second grade artist here. He's got his coat. He's got some kind of arm here. All right. There we go. That's a hot mess. I don't draw people from the side a lot. Okay. There's that. And all right, so he turns towards the ladder, creating the hemp rope and tree branches. A few rungs are missing, especially the bottom one. All right, now, because the rock is going to be the reason why he ends up dying, he's going to hit his head on it, we want to foreshadow. So I'm going to have basically a close-up of the rock, so we can have some foreshadowing of this foreboding rock. All right, it's just a piece of lava rock that's sitting there. It's fallen off the. Maybe fallen down into the hole. The recess is kind of over here where Mr. Piggy lives. All right. A rock! Exclamation. Okay, now it says a large piece of lava rock sits near the foot of the ladder. Okay. Now he says this looks sturdy enough. Going to take a bit of effort to get to that first rung, though. So probably might just have his hand on the. Maybe a similar medium shot, but maybe he has his hand on the. Let's see here. Sorry, gotta make sure the kids are okay. All right. Okay, yeah, just some update from my son. Okay, there's that. So he'll put his hand on the. Maybe we'll do a back shot. Here's his hat from back. His tri-corner hat. It's coming out of frame. There's a rock here. It's big. It's foreboding. There's the pig recess. This is a crude drawing of him touching the ladder. He's got his pants, he's got his socks, he's got his shoes. Okay. It's just to get the idea. If there was some budget, we would hire somebody. But there we go. Okay, it's got a ladder here. Okay, so he says this looks sturdy. Okay, so this looks sturdy. All right, so there's that. Now, he says, I'm sorry, forgot to. All right, there we go. Crude drawing of him. Crude drawing of him with his hand on the ladder. Okay. As done by a young child. Unfortunately, I can't afford a young child, so it's just going to be me. All right, now, welcome you guys that are checking in. We're doing some rough storyboarding for Escape from Crab Island, a cursed island. McQueen is a spy for the Royal Navy. Somehow he ended up in a well. Bermuda Bill put him down there. Okay, so now okay. So he says this looks sturdy enough, going to take a bit of effort to get to that first rung though. So now he says places his foot on the lava rock and attempts to jump to the first rung. All right, so we'll do a close-up again of the rock. And he'll put his food on it. All right, excuse me about that. Okay, it's been a long day remodeling. All right, so there's his little boot. He's got a sock and his calf. What amazing human anatomy drawing. Okay, and where would his other leg be? Maybe right here. His coat would be right here. That would be his knee. Okay, the ladder's like right here. The alcove for Mr. Piggy's right here. There's that. All right, so he's putting his foot on the rock and attempts to jump to the first rung. All right, so then I'd probably cut back to a medium shot. All right, so what I'll do then there is puts his foot on the lava rock. So usually I'll start a new sentence if it's going to go to a, like each sentence will be a different shot, or each paragraph. Okay, so McQueen places his foot on the lava rock. He attempts to jump to the first rung, all right? And then, so we'll have him just kind of going up. I love drawing arrows. Okay. Here we go. He's going to be jumping up. And he's going to kind of have his cape here. A lot of this shot might end up being hidden by the cape, or his coat, sorry. He's kind of looking up with his hat. His hands are up. His feet maybe are up here. Okay, there's his. This one's up. Okay, I'm going to draw this here. Okay. All right, so he's attempting to jump up. All right, he jumps. All right, so there's that. He jumps up. Now, it's a little too high, and he misses it and falls backwards. Let's have the rung. Let's have it break. All right, so it's a little too high. And the rung breaks. Okay. McQueen falls backwards. Okay. So. Okay, there's that one. All right, so this is, was this 9 or 8? It's 8. All right, so 8B. Okay, so the rung breaks. Okay, so we'll do a close up of this little twig cracking. Okay, and this one will go this way. And his foot's maybe kind of his sock and foot going through. he's falling down. Scales off a little bit. All right, so just say it breaks. Okay, and we'll put the other side ladder here. All right, so puts his foot on the rung and it breaks. Okay. Poor McQueen. So many ways for him to die. Okay, so there'll be a close-up there. And then, alright, it's too high and the rung breaks. He falls backwards and says, ah, or ah. He does... Alright, he does the famous Wilhelm scream. Oh! Okay. Like you're getting eaten by an alligator. Okay, I lost my lead. Okay, lead came back. Now. Okay, so he's falling backwards. And his hands will be up. And actually kind of had envisioned him falling the other way. Because his head needs to be on this side. Okay. I wonder if he needs to step on that with his right so it ends up going this way. Okay, so we'll kind of be going this way. Go. He's got 4 fingers. And there's that one. I lost my lead again. All right. I'm back to the drawing board with the pencil sharpener. Okay. There it goes. Let's try a little bit more. Guess I should have extra pencils on tap. Okay. So he's falling backwards. This is coat. One leg's up. The other leg's kind of this way. Falling backwards. All right, this is tri-corner. His nose. Very rough drawing. Ladder appears to be changing size. That's fine. All right, and there's the broken stick. Okay, now, oops, forgot to put that back on. There we go. No, he's falling down there. All right. Okay, so now let's go back to here. He hits his head on the lava rock and blood pours from his head. All right. So he's falling, and then here's the rock. And here's his tri-corner hat from the side. How am I going to draw his tri-corner hat from the side? All right. And there's from that, kind of like that maybe. I don't know. Okay. He's got his wig, his nose, eyes screaming. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, he's got a funny shaped head from the back. All right, and then this is heading over here to this rock. I think most of this is just an excuse for me to draw arrows. All right, so his head is heading towards this rock. Draw the piggy watching him. Okay. There we go. Maybe the noise brings the piggy out. Okay, and then blood pours from his head. All right, so he says biscuits. That's his catchphrase. Okay, so there's the rock. And here's his head. Hits the back of his head. I'm not used to drawing people from the side, so it's going to look like not very good. Okay. A tri-corner from the side. I don't know, something like that. Ladder. This recess is in the shot, so we're going to have to do something with that. So I think Mr. Pig is going to come out. All right. There's blood on the rock. Okay. Biscuits, I've split my gourd. Okay, he slumps to the ground. All right, so basically we'll just kind of the same picture, but he's got X's. Classic cartoon way of dying. All right, he needs a nose with his crude head. He's got his hair. And I guess we'll do thud here. Okay. Then I think, okay. So basically he slumps to the ground, then the necro pig emerges from the recess. Okay. I guess we don't know the gender of the pig, so it takes the cap locks off. Okay. It come on, cap lock, what's going on? Oh, does it think it's... Oh, I need to change this. All right, action. Nope. Action. There we go. Stop. It grunts as it sniffs. I guess as it stands over her. Okay. Little humor. Little dark humor. Okay. And we lost ours. Okay, that's fine. People get bored. Oops. There we go. There's that. So here's him right there. Here's his rock. And then let's draw the recess, sorry. And there's Mr. Piggy. Okay, with his half of ear and this ear coming out. And his little piggy eyes and his little piggy snout. Okay. With his little piggy tusks and his little piggy there. Okay, there's the piggy, aka the necro swine with his little piggy legs. He wants to see what's going on. Okay, and then we'll show him kind of over the body of, I need a little model or something. There's McQueen. He's dead. He's got X's, of course. There's the rock. Here he is laying there. And then Mr. Necropig is like, oh, this guy's already dead. I can't make him into a zombie. Okay. Necropig. Necropig. He's got the cute little pigtail too. Alright, Necropig. He says grunt. Okay, there's recess in the background and the ladder. Okay, so now the final card is McQueen has died. Return. I think it's episode 7. Isn't it episode 7? We don't want to go all the way to 6. I think it's 7. Yeah, episode 7. Okay. 7 and save. There we go. Period 7. Okay. Now return to episode 7. Now, this is the part you guys have all been waiting for. This is where I use my new colored pencils to color these in. Okay. All right, it's a load of colored pencils. A real load of pencils. Okay, so here's a blue for his coat. And here's his coat right here. And here's his coat right here. And here's his coat right here, and his coat from behind. Okay, now there's a yellow. I don't need all these colors. Let me just use the ones from the other day. Okay. If I need to grab a gold or something, I'll do it from that one. Okay, so put that one back. 50 colors. That's a lot of colors. Okay. Okay, so we've got the sand and the sand and the sand and the sand. There we go. And for some reason I always like to make the arrows blue or purple. There we go. And then we've got the brown for the wood. Brown for the wood. Okay, there's that and that and that. Okay. And then we were using black for his tri-corner. Okay. There's that. And then I was putting a little red in his cheeks just to give him some color. Right there. And I guess, I don't know, his shoes are brown. We'll make some brown shoes. There we go, brown shoes. Okay, and that rock, it's a lava rock, so we'll make it black. Okay. There's that and that. Now, I'm going to sketch it that a little bit. The recess. Alright, so then color in these guys. Twigs break, twigs break. He's got brown shoes. Excuse me. There's There's that. This is the most amazing storyboards anybody's ever. Oh, we can get some pink for Mr. Necropig. He's kind of brownish though. We'll get some brown. We'll get some pink in there because we got that extra color box. All right, there's his coat right there. His coat's right there. His coat's right there. Biscuits, he says. I'm dying. I'm dying here. All right. Using black for his tricolor. Okay, here we go. Let's get his tricolor right there. And oh, I think I made his boots brown. This is the boot that's brown. And there's that. And then I think we're making the arrows just kind of purplish bluish. There's that. There's a lot going on in that one. Lots of arrows and lots of motion. Okay, nothing else. All right, now, oh, I was gonna put a little red in his cheeks. He's got a little ruddy redness there, and he died, and he died. Okay, now, let's see what we got. There's some pink for Mr. Porky Pig. Okay. Woo, little piggy, okay. He's a little pink and brown. He's a little necro pig. With his little piggy legs. Okay. There's that one. And he's got his little piggy legs there. Okay. So we've successfully colored in that one. So I'll scan that one tomorrow and put it in the DaVinci nonlinear editor. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of time left here. I need to figure out in this other timeline how Necropig is going to kill McQueen. Because in that one, McQueen died himself. Just out of his poor luck. Okay, let's save this one. Okay, granted it stands over McQueen. Okay, so coming back to 7. Let's see what we got here. Yep, there we go. All right, so let's do this. There it goes. Okay, McQueen stands in front. He takes the key. Skeleton falls over. Necropig. This'll have to do. All right, you dead pig. Let's see what you got. Okay. Pig scowls, shows his tusks. So we're probably going to pick it up right here. Okay, so that'll probably be the first line and hit this one. Okay, so this is where he gets defeated. The pig scowls and shows his large tusks. And then he dies. So we gotta fill that in. And then this is if he wins. So that'll be our starting point. He'll say something witty. And then it's going to say to continue the adventure, go to episode 11, right? Yes. All right, so in 10, he defeats the Necropig with the arm. Oh, I need to show a coin around Pig's Pig's got to have a coin. Okay, where is the pencil? I forgot Piggy had a coin around his neck. Where did my pencil go? There it is. Okay. Alright, so what am I doing here? He had a little coin around his neck. Probably can't see it in this shot. There we go. And we'll just make it yellow. Actually, there's an orange in the other shots. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Probably have a gold pencil in here. Is there a gold pencil in here? These 50 colors. I don't see one. It doesn't matter. Okay, we'll just make it yellow. Alright, Necro Pig somehow has a gold coin around his neck. Okay. I forgot he's got yellow eyebrows. There we go. Alright, now. Okay, back to this. So. Trapped under there. Okay, so. In episode 10 is when he succeeds the alcove victory. So they fight. He takes the gold coin from around the pig's neck. There's a card that says add gold coin to inventory. Okay. And then we'll say total 1 gold piece. Okay. Then he's going to basically gonna McQueen picks up a femur from the skeleton, so that'll be a close-up shot, and then there will be a shot of the ladder. Now has runs at even spaces, including a femur and an arm bone. I don't know those bones. Hey Jenny, what are the bones? We'll see if Jenny tells me what the arm bone is. Ulna? Is that ulna? Alright. I need to take an anatomy class. Alright, ladder now has rungs at even spaces include a femur and an ulna. McQueen mounts the ladder and climbs up. Alright, so I'm trying to keep these to about a page, which is roughly a minute-ish. Okay, Queen takes the gold coin. Alright, so and that'll kind of dictate how long the pig fight is. Alright, so this is where he has victory. The pig scowls and shows his large tusks. McQueen will say something with that's pithy. They will battle. I'm going to flesh this out in a bit. They battle using the forearm and hand. How is this pig going to die? Okay. Pig dies. Flesh that out a little bit. Alright. Then falls over or collapses to the sand. McQueen says, oh, what do we have here? A gold coin. And McQueen takes gold coin from around the pig's neck. It's his piggy neck. He has possession. Card says add gold coin to inventory. Total 1 gold point. McQueen picks up a femur from the skeleton. That's his leg bone, right? Okay. Let's look at the phone. Phone says, what are leg bones called? Alright. The femur is the thigh bone, the tibia. Alright, we'll say femur and tibia. Alright, the letter now has rungs at even spaces, including a femur and a tibia. There we go. From the skeleton dude. I know ulna is the arm bone, right? The humerus is the upper arm, the radius, and the ulna. Interesting. Okay. There you go. You learned something. Okay, how is he? All right, so that's it's roughly about 2/3 of a sheet. Got to figure out how he's going to defeat the pig. Now, the pig scowls and shows his large size. McQueen's going to say something pithy. Now, I know how he's... I kind of know how he's going to die. So... basically, McQueen stumbles to the ground. I think the pig's going to chase him. Pig chases McQueen around the alcove. Okay. He's going to stumble to the ground. Should he trip over that lava rock? Alright, McQueen trips over the lava rock. Alright. Trips over the lava rock. And stumbles, let's say, into the chest. Into the empty chest. I thought it would be funny for the chest to fall on him. Excuse me, treasure chest lid falls onto his head. That'd be kind of funny. All right. Okay, the pig. Okay, what is this transition? Action. The pig stabs McQueen with his tusk. McQueen says something pithy. Character. Biscuits. That. What's he gonna say? That was painful. I was gonna say something about pig on a stick. No, I'm a pig on a stick. Yeah, we'll just put that in for a placeholder. Okay. Okay, biscuits, that hurts. All right. Treasure chest, lid falls on his lid. He's perished. Okay. Pig scowl shows his large tusks. Okay, he's going to say something. Dialogue. All right, Mr. McBacon. Let's get it on. I don't know. We'll just start with that. We'll figure out something. Okay. So McQueen stands before the necro pig with the skeletal arm and hand. Waving the skeletal arm and hand before him. Okay. I don't use before twice. McQueen stands at the ready, waving the skeletal arm and hand before him. Okay. All right, Mr. McBacon, let's get it on. Okay, McQueen. McQueen slaps the pig with the skeletal arm and hand. The pig let's see here. What's that pig gonna do? The pig stares at McQueen and grunts. McQueen, it's going to cut back to McQueen. Okay. This is character. Blimey. That just made you mad. Okay. Ugh, blimey. Okay, that just made him angry. Okay. So, I'm envisioning in my head there was a time when my son Tommy, when he was, I don't know, 4 or 5, he got chased by a Pomeranian dog out in the street. And it was funny because Tommy was scared of the little dog, and that made the little dog even more energetic, and they just ran after themselves in circles. It was quite humorous, so we'll steal some of that. Pig stares McQueen and grunts. Blimey, that just made him angry. Okay. The pig chases McQueen in a circle around the alcove. All right, this isn't art. This is just a way for a British sailor to get killed by an undead pig. Okay. The sillier and the darker, the better. Okay. We don't call it grimdark, we call it whimdark, whimsy dark. Pig scowls and shows his large tusks. McQueen stands at the ready, waving the skeletal arm and hand before him. All right, Mr. McBacon, let's get it on. McQueen slaps the pig with the skeletal arm and hand. The pig stares at McQueen and grunts. Ugh, blimey, that just made him angry. That just made him angrier. The pig... actually, so we're going to cut to the pig. The pig races toward McQueen. All right, so it'll be a kind of a close-up of the pig. The pig chases McQueen in a circle around the alcove. All right, so we can do that a couple of times. McQueen trips over the lava rock and stumbles into the empty chest. The pig stabs McQueen with his tusk and a loud squeal. Biscuits, that hurt. All right. Biscuits, that hurt, pig. All right. The treasure chest lid falls onto his head. McQueen has perished. All right, it's about a minute's worth of stuff there. Okay, pig races towards McQueen. Pig chases McQueen in a circle around the alcove. McQueen trips over the lava rock and stumbles into the empty chest. Pig stabs McQueen with his tusks and makes a loud squeal. Biscuits that hurt. Treasure chest lid falls onto his head. The necro pig stands, I guess he does. Stands over McQueen victoriously. Okay. Is that a word? Victoriously stands over. Okay. That'll be funny. Okay. So that is 9. Slaps the pig with skeleton in. Okay, so let's read it back. All right, the pig scowls and shows his large tusks. McQueen stands at the ready, waving the skeletal arm and hand before him. All right, Mr. McBacon, let's get it on. McQueen slaps the pig with skeletal arm and with the skeletal arm in hand. The pig stares at McQueen and grunts. Ugh, blimey, that just made him angrier. The pig races towards McQueen. The pig chases McQueen. All right, the necro pig chases McQueen in a circle around the alcove. McQueen trips over the lava rock and stumbles into the empty chest. The pig stabs McQueen with his tusks and makes a loud squeal. Biscuits, that hurt, pig. The treasure chest lid falls onto McQueen's head. The necropeg stands over McQueen victoriously. Okay, I think that works. It's silly, but I think it's fine. All right, so we'll save that. And then what happens here is he defeats the pig. Okay, so the pig scowls and shows his large tusks. Listen, I don't want to repeat, because people might watch every episode. I don't want to repeat too much of the dialogue. So we can keep this here. We can keep that. Queen stands at the ready, waving his skeletal arm and hand before him. Okay, so you ready for this? All right, Mr. Undead Piglet. I say, get ready to die again. Get ready to die a second time, Mr. Undead Pig. Okay. Okay, so how is he going to kill this pig? He needs to just... Okay, I mean, if it's classic zombie, he's got to stab him in the head. How much time do we got here? Not a whole lot of time. Okay, I think it's got to be sharp. All right. I think let's do this. So I don't want to repeat too much of this. He needs to break the form and make it stabby. Let's do this. Okay, so McQueen takes the arm. I mean, he could try it. All right, let's do this. Okay, so the pig races toward McQueen. McQueen uses the arm and hand to slap at the pig. In the process, the hand flies off and the arm breaks into 2 pieces. He's going to have to say something here, maybe. Does he need to say anything or no? Okay. I'll say into 2 sharp pieces. Okay. The pig turns and races toward McQueen again. McQueen holds the 2 sharp bones in front. All right, okay, this will be kind of funny. Okay. In front of him as the pig, I don't have to animate a pig jumping. As the pig strikes him. The pig ends up on top of McQueen. Oh, this is going to be a pain to animate. Okay. With the 2 sharp bones protruding from his undead skull. Okay. Okay, strikes him with a squeal. Pig ends up on top of McQueen with the 2 sharp bones protruding from his undead skull. McQueen stuck like an undead pig. Okay. Because it's like squealed like a pig, right? Squealed like... What's the phrase? Is it stuck like an undead pig? Yeah, I'll just look at that. Okay. Pig ends up on top McQueen with the 2 sharp bones stuck like an undead pig. McQueen pushes the pig off of him and into the sand. All right, is that still... Okay, that's still 1 page. All right, let's massage this a little bit. All right, so... Pig scowls and shows his large tusks. McQueen stands at the ready. So that'll be like a close-up. McQueen stands at the ready, waving the skeletal arm and hand before him. Get ready to die a second time. And we'll put a little emphasis on that. Mr. Undead Pig. pig races towards McQueen. McQueen uses the arm and hand to slap at the pig. Okay, and then we'll probably do it as a close-up. In the process, the hand flies off and the arm breaks into two sharp pieces. I mean, it's basically the radius and the ulna. I don't know if I really need to put that in there. Okay, pig squeals, turns, then races toward McQueen. Okay. McQueen holds the two sharp bones in front of him as the pig strikes him with a squeal. They tumble together. I don't know how I'm going to animate this, but okay. They tumble together, and we're still on one page. The pig ends up on top of McQueen with the two sharp bones protruding from the undead skull. The pig lays atop McQueen with the two sharp bones protruding from his undead skull. Stuck like an undead pig, I should say, or to coin a phrase. All right, McQueen pushes the pig off and into the sand. Let's just say that just falls off. He already yanked that key off the one guy. Queen pushes the pig off and into the sand. Let's just say it falls off. In the sand lays a gold coin on a broken leather strip. Okay. A gold coin hangs from around his neck. Okay. Am I still on one page? Yeah. Okay. The pig scowls and shows his large tusk. A gold coin hangs around from his neck. Queen stands at the ready, waving the skeletal arm in hand before him. Get ready to die a second time, Mr. Undead Pig. The pig races towards McQueen. McQueen uses the arm and hand to slap at the pig. In the process, the hand flies off and the arm breaks into two sharp pieces, the radius and the ulna. The pig squeals, turns, then races towards McQueen. McQueen holds the two sharp bones in front of him as the pig strikes him with a squeal. They tumble together. The pig lays atop McQueen with the two sharp bones protruding from his undead skull. Green ooze pours from the wounds. All right, that sounds gross. Okay. All right. Green ooze pours from the wounds. Is that going to be a close-up? I can think that's fine. Stuck like an undead pig, I should say. Because that's stuck like a pig. Squeals like a pig. What's the... All right. Phrase. Stuck like a pig. All right. The idiom is likely squeal like a stuck pig. Bleeding like a stuck pig. Well, there's a lot of stuck pigs. Sweat like a pig. Bleeding like a stuffed pig. All right, well, I think we're fine here. Okay, stuck like an undead pig, I should say. Okay, McQueen pushes the pig off and into the sand. In the sand next to the pig, or just, I think just in the sand, lays a gold coin on a broken leather strap. Ooh, what do we have here? A gold coin. McQueen takes the coin from the sand. That'll be a close-up. All right, add gold coin to inventory, total 1 GP. McQueen picks up a femur, so that'll be, yeah, just a close-up shot of him picking up the femur. The ladder now has rungs at even space. Okay, the ladder now has a femur and a tibia to create rungs as additional rungs. Ladder now has rungs. I don't want to phrase this. The ladder now has rungs of a femur and tibia. The ladder now has a femur and a tibia as additional rungs. Okay, and then a cut of him mounting the ladder and climbing up. He doesn't need to mount the ladder, just McQueen climbs up the ladder. You don't have to show everything. Okay, to continue the adventure, go to episode. All right, I think that'll work. We got some stuff done. We did some storyboards. We wrote a couple of scripts. We're good to go. All right, have a good night. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll do some more. We'll probably do some more tomorrow night. I need to shoot some more Beardy episodes. Probably do that. Have a good evening.
Hey, Scully. Yar, Stinkosaurus.
Oh, right.
Hardy, yar,